Peace and blessings, my sweet, lovely butterflies. This is the Awakened Butterfly. I am back with another video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please stay for the entire video. If you enjoy the content, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope everyone is taking care of themselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. And as you can tell by the title of this video today, guys, I will be talking about demonic oppression. And my reason for talking about this video today is because I'm always making videos about gang stalking, and I'm also always making videos about electronic frequencies that are being used and weaponized against target individuals. Well, when looking and doing research on some gang stalking tactics to present to you guys, I came across something called demonic oppression. And it's related to gang stalking in many ways, and it's different in many ways. And I feel that it has a lot to do with the spiritual warfare that is taking place, and I feel that it is also another harassment tactic. So I felt that it was very important to shed some light on this topic. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. As we all know, gang stalking is when a person or a group of people are being harassed by another person or a smaller group of people for whatever the reason may be. These reasons can vary. It just depends on the motive of the handler. And the reason why I said handler, because the people that gang stalk you, they are being carried by demonic spirits. And demonic oppression is kind of the same, but it's when an individual is being attacked by a demonic spirit in order to influence the way they think, act, and express their emotions. And once they do that, they condition the body for demonic possession. As with gang stalking, the gang stalkers are not looking to possess the body demonically, but it's looking more to break the mind, to silence you and condition you to something that you're not comfortable with. Because you're usually being gang stalked because you usually spoke out against something, or you're against something, or someone they're aware of the light that you carry and they're trying to dim it. It's usually it usually circles around those type of reasons. Demonic oppression is pretty much the act of demonic possession. It's kind of something that takes place before demonic possession takes place, because demonic possession is the state of being demonically controlled mentally and physically. It's being, it's the body being controlled by a demon. And demonic oppression is that demon's attempt to control the body. So I did some research and I found out that and I obtained my research from crosswalk.com. And I want to also let you guys know, a quick disclaimer: any videos that I present in my videos, they are for awareness and educational purposes only. Many researchers believe that demonic possession starts with Satan influencing the mind. I also feel the same way. Because I feel that, as with a lot of things that we suffer through when we're being demonically attacked, I feel that it starts with our mind first, and it starts to attack our emotions and our actions, and then that's what makes it manifest in physical form. Demonic oppression is the act of a spirit attacking an individual, trying to weaken their mind in order to control their body. It's like a demon seeking a home to move into. And Matthew chapter 12, verses 43 through 45 says, when the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it passes through waterless places, seeking rest, but finds none. Then it says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when it comes, it finds the house empty, swept, and put in order. Then it goes and brings with it 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they enter and dwell there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. So also will it be with this evil generation. So once a demon has inhabited the body and a person has become aware of that, and through the grace of God they were able to rid that demon through strong fasting and prayer, the demon is now seeking another body to inhabit. But since the house that they left, which is the person's body, is empty and it's now clean, they now want to go back and dirty this person's spirit again. And anyone who is trying to get close to God is going to be automatically demonically oppressed. Automatically, especially this day and age, because there's a strong warfare going on. And Satan knows that his time is about up. So it's like he's trying to take as many people with him. He's trying to make people feel like they have to make a choice because there's so much iniquity going on in the world. The forces of evil are so strong that a lot of people are falling under the influence. And that's the demonic oppression, because it's the devil seeking to destroy your mind, your emotions, and the way that you act. And it's a part of being desensitized. And sooner or later, if a person falls weak to through these conditions, they will be demonically possessed. And demonic possession does not always mean something like you would see on the movie The Exorcist or something like that, or someone just acting monstrous or out of it. It could be someone, they could appear normal and still be demonically possessed, but they could still be operating through a hidden agenda. So it's always important to pray for discernment so you can know the spirit behind people that you're dealing with. And once a person is demonically oppressed, if they fall victim to demonic oppression, and we all have in our lives, and we're all dealing with demonic oppression right now, because one of the main things that the enemy attacks when you're dealing with demonic oppression is your guilty pleasures. A lot of temptations that you deal with in your life. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. Also, anyone who is set apart, anyone who is not trying to follow the crowd, when you know something's wrong, you don't mind standing up saying, hey, I'm not with that. I'm not doing that. And, you're not afraid to be you. You're, really that set apart. You're going to be demonically oppressed, because everything is robotic now. It's like everyone's following, trends. So that's why you see everyone acting alike, looking alike, and sometimes expressing the same emotions. It's like sometimes people are adapting other people's personalities and everything about them. So it's like there's so many people in the world not genuinely being themselves. And this too is through demonic oppression. When you carry the Lord's light, it does make you a strong target from Satan and his fallen angels. They seek to destroy you and to pull you into Satan's kingdom. He's trying to take as many people with him as he can. And they try to make some of these things seem innocent. Oh, we're just having fun. You're boring. You need to live your life. And a lot of people who's trying to manipulate people into iniquity. They're trying to make them feel like they're not living their lives to the fullest because they're not following the crowd. They're not doing a lot of things that are really being sent here by Satan in order to desensitize people for what, he's trying to do and what he is doing. And he's also trying to deceive people so they will be very confused when the Antichrist comes. They probably won't know him from the real Most High himself, because they're being desensitized to think that the things that are going on in the world are okay and normal, but it's really demonic. So when they do these things, they really do draw in a lot of demonic energy without a lot of people not knowing, and some are knowing to what they're getting themselves into. As I was mentioning earlier, it's sometimes not easy to become aware of when you're being demonically oppressed, when the enemy is using your temptations as a weapon against you. It could be anything. Something that you once enjoyed doing in life, but you realize that it wasn't bringing any value to your life. It wasn't something that the Lord was pleased with. And, through your journey with the Lord, he made that clear to you that it was something that he didn't think you should be doing. And Satan will try to use those things and shed light around them through other people to make it seem like it's not a big deal, to draw you back in to your old habits. A lot of these habits could come from actions. It could be some old habits, some negative ways, some ways of, it could just be something that's, as simple as negative ways of thinking, which is really a big deal as over time, because those things can manifest, through your actions and emotions of negative thinking. He can slowly bring you back into those ways of thinking. Like if you have setbacks in life, like, we all have minor setbacks, and, it could be something that can happen to try and make you lose faith, to wear you down, and it can have you to start back thinking negative. And those are some things that he does, because just know we're all going to go through things, guys. We know life isn't perfect. We're going to go through things, but never lose the faith no matter what you go through. He may try to draw you into addictions, any past addictions that you had. Guys, it doesn't always have to be drugs and alcohol. And I know a lot of times when people hear the word addiction, they may think that it's always referring to drugs and alcohol. That's not true. You can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to porn. You can be addicted to sex. You can be addicted to food. You can be addicted to anything. Too much of anything is not good. He can try and lure you back into some of those old addictions, into having people around you, peer pressure, or, even commercials, even that's when a lot of the gain stalking comes in as well. It seems that when you're trying to stray away from something, that's when people come around and try to put it in your life even more. And that's when you have to resist in the name of the Messiah, guys. When that's happening, make sure you fast and pray as much as possible. Associating with toxic people that the Lord warned you about, he could, tempt you into being back around those people again, when you were already shown that they were not good to have around. They could have been very toxic and very negative. And sometimes people can come back around and love bomb and manipulate you, and it could blind you to who they really are and what their motives are. So discernment is really important when dealing with those type of situations. These things happen through the enemies to keep you bound and trapped in that dark place that you're trying to get out of, because he already knows what the Lord has planned for you. He knows your future is bright, and he knows, because he knows that your relationship with the Lord is about to get even stronger. So that's why these attacks become worse. They can come in any form of harassment. They can come through people that you know and people that you don't know. And this is all through monitoring spirits that have been watching you and studying you, studying your every move, your strengths, your weaknesses, everything about you. And they report back to Satan himself, and then he sends in another demon. There's different demons for different situations. Satan has a whole kingdom of demons that he sends after God's people to try and weaken their faith and pull them away from the Lord. It happens every day, guys, and God and his angels are constantly fighting for us, and that's why it's very important for us to give him praise and let him know that we're very grateful every single day, because each day is not promised to us. So each day that we wake up is a true blessing, because the enemy is most certainly here to destroy us, and he spares none and he stops at nothing. To some who are unaware of how the enemy operates, these signs might not be experienced as demonic attacks, but they most certainly are. And the signs that I'm about to read to you guys are the signs that I'm referring to. Now, yesterday, I attempted to do this video, guys. I was 23 minutes in, okay, in doing this video. And someone was banging on my door very, very loudly, to the point where I had to stop the video. They were beating on my windows, everything. They had the wrong apartment. They were looking for someone, and they were just beating on my door. It was really bizarre. It was an elderly couple, and they parked their car across the street, and they walked over to my house and was just beating on the door, and to the point to where the neighbors were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because they know how me and my fiance operate. They know that we don't live our life in a way where someone would be, harassing us and beating on our door like that. So, guys, please excuse the fly. I had my window open, letting some fresh air in, and a fly came in. So please excuse that. But yeah, so I think I irritated, some demons when I presented this video yesterday, because I prayed about it, and it's better today, because I feel that the enemy does not want to be found out. And when he does get found out and a lot of his tactics get exposed, he gets very angry, and it irritates a lot of the demons within that are inhabited through people on this planet. And I feel like that's why that happened, guys. So sign number 1 is an abnormal sense of fear. And I feel that happened to try to implant fear in me. Satan operates through fear and intimidation. Sometimes majority of the time when you're afraid of something, it stops you from doing something. And that's his aim. He wants you to operate out of fear, so it can stop you from doing your God-given purpose. He doesn't want you to do what you were set out to do. And he will place these attacks upon you to try and make you afraid, to keep from doing something. And you will know what it is based on what's coming out of the people's mouths when they're, harassing you. Just like every time I do a video, I get harassed. And sometimes even at nighttime when I'm trying to get rest. And that's his way of trying to implant fear in me, to where, okay, well, if I stop doing these videos, the attacks will stop. Well, that's not going to happen, because I know that the Lord set me here to do this, and I know he's going to protect me while I'm doing it, and I know what I have to do in order to keep these attacks from stopping me from doing what I was set here to do. And I pray really hard now when these attacks come. And I do have my moment of fasting as well. And it does help, guys. It really does help. Now, don't get me wrong. It's normal to feel fear. It's a normal emotion that we have to feel. But only when there's something to fear. And then you're not supposed to let that prolong. If it's something that you're afraid of, pray about it. And if it's something that you know the Most High set you out to do and fear is trying to hold you back, pray about it and do it anyway. If it's something that the Most High, if it's something that you feel that He implanted that emotion in you as a sense of awareness, take that awareness and move in accordingly. And still pray as well. But never let the fear stop you, because it is an intimidation tactic used by the enemy to keep you stuck and stagnant. Sign number 2, nightmares and inability to get rest. And guys, I've been going through this. The attacks at nighttime, waking up at a certain time of night, feeling the fear and the anxiety about starting your next day. You may even have nightmares. These things are designed by the enemy to weaken you, to dampen your spirit, to me, it's another fear and intimidation tactic, to have you so wrapped up in what you're experiencing that you can't move forward. And I mean with anything. Sometimes you can become so wrapped up in these things, you can even forget to have a relationship with God, because you're so scared and having anxiety focused on what you're experiencing through the demonic oppression. And it's also designed to wear you down, to make you so tired, because when you're fatigued, you can't operate, you can't function, you can't think, you're confused. And when the body is in this vulnerable state, it is so easy to be demonically oppressed. And this is also the state that the enemy wants you to be in when he's aiming to demonically possess someone. He just wants you so tired where, you're not praying, you're not fasting, you're not sleeping, you're not walking in your purpose, you're not doing anything. So now the body is vulnerable for attack, and he most certainly will attack when your body is in this state. So it is very important to, now, if there's some things going on to where that's why you're not getting any sleep, and there's something you have to work on in order to fix your sleep schedule, then in your pattern, then that's different. But if everything is okay and you're being awakened at certain times of the morning and you're feeling fear and anxiety and you're having nightmares, then those are demonic attacks. And prayer at this time, strong prayer before you go to bed. If you do still wake up, strong prayer when it happens. Don't stop praying. Just don't stop praying, guys. He does hear your prayers, and when they're answered, they're most certainly answered. And you will know when they're answered. We all know that feeling when our prayers have been answered by God. And that brings me to say this. Satan is willing to prolong those attacks, because I've been dealing with this sleep thing for a while, and it's getting better. And it's to the point to where I'm not even tired when I wake up at these times. I just go ahead and use it as a time to pray, because it's like now I've become stronger within these attacks. And with the prayer and the faith in God, it does make you stronger to deal with these things. It's like it's not even a big deal to you anymore. Prolonged unexplained depression. You're sad, and you don't know why. It's a difference when you become depressed about something, because we're normal, we're human. We all go through something sometimes, but it's not supposed to be prolonged. Over time we heal, through God placing grace and mercy upon our lives and healing us, and we overcome certain things. But if you're feeling sadness and hopelessness and, feel like you can't move forward, you feel the inability to do your daily duties and to carry out your purpose, you're just feeling depressed and you don't know why, that is a demonic attack, guys. And I've experienced this before. And not saying I've never been depressed about something before, because I have, but I also went through an abnormal prolonged period of depression that I couldn't pinpoint why I was feeling that way, because there was nothing wrong at that time, and I had healed from my past pain, so I didn't understand where it was coming from. But now I understand that it's the devil trying to keep you depressed, because if you think about all the symptoms that come with depression, the sadness, the hopelessness, when people feel like that, they don't feel the strength to move forward. They don't feel the will to move forward. They don't feel like it's anything, you know, for them to continue on for. And that is not a good way to feel. And, you know, that is one of the devil's main weapons that he uses against people, other than fear and intimidation, is to try and make you feel sad and hopeless about your life, like your life is over, you can't move forward. That is most certainly not true, because every morning that you wake up, that is another day for you to live out your purpose and do what the Lord sets for you to do. He has a purpose for you, and Satan most certainly cannot stop it. He tries all he can, and he does succeed depending on how strong we are in our faith, depending on what we have going on in our lives at that time. And we've all felt victims to Satan's tactics. We do every day, actually. You know, it's just about having discernment and awareness about what's going on, and knowing how to overcome it, you know, when it's happening. That's the thing. It's one thing to go through something and know what it is and know how to overcome it. It's another thing to go through something and have no idea what it is and how to overcome it, because you don't know what it is, you know. So it's just one of those things that comes with demonic oppression. You have to know through praying for wisdom and discernment. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Luke chapter 10 verse 19 says, "Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you." Through the power of prayer and the word of God and our faith in him, we can overcome these demonic attacks, because the Lord is more powerful than anything. He's our creator. He created everything. So our relationship with him and aiming to walk in righteousness and trying to do the right thing will most certainly ensure us protection in this spiritual warfare, in this fight that we're experiencing. And there is a fight. Most certainly there is. God has already equipped us as a child of God to overcome all of these spiritual battles. Already. We were equipped for this because he knew that it was going to happen. He knew what this world was going to come to. And he knows what it's going to come to. John chapter 4 verse 4 says, "Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." So you carry the blood of Christ in you, and you have the strength of the Lord to carry out the purpose in which he called upon you to do. Continuous fasting, prayer. Always seek ways to better yourself every day and carry self-love, and ask God for the power and will to love others, and for strong faith and wisdom and discernment and patience, just all the things that we need in order to deal with what we're going through on this earth, because it's a lot to deal with, and we are only human at the end of the day, but we're more than that, because we possess something inside of us, the blood of Christ, that through his strength we can do anything. So always remember that, guys, and share this video if you don't mind, and always remember that fear is just something that tries to hold you back. It's just something that tries to hold you back, guys. That's it. I love you guys so much. Please don't hesitate to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have more content coming up. stay tuned for that. I love you guys so much. Stay safe out there. Stay prayed up. And until the next video, peace and blessings.